It's day 3 since the reopening of schools in Gauteng, and some parents are still waiting for their children to be placed. Yesterday, the Gauteng Education MEC, Matome, Chiloane, telling us that the challenges will most likely be resolved in 10 days. Let's get the very latest now. Neria Hlakotsa is tracking the story for us and joins us in studio. Neria, good afternoon. Thank you so much for your time.
Good afternoon.
Let's just start with where you were today and what are the parents telling you?
Well, today we went to Morningside Teachers Center, where basically this is where parents are lining up, trying to, of course, get places for their children. But what the parents are telling us is that it's been a very frustrating process since Wednesday when schools reopened. Some of them have actually been there since Tuesday, and they're always told to come back the next day, and the other day. So they're very frustrated right now more than anything, and very emotional, because as you can see that it's the third day since the opening of the 2025 school academic year, and their children are still at school. But what we are also realizing when we speak to the parents, now it's more of disputes. And now parents are disputing the schools that they were placed at when they applied. So now they're trying to get those transfers, to speak to the districts to say, this school that you placed my child at, it's too far. I simply cannot even afford transport. So that is the cohort that you are seeing right now at all these various districts in terms of the parents that are there.
When it comes then to, some of them who are in some cases are saying that they don't want the schools because they may be underperforming, have we seen any of that?
Definitely we have. It's interesting, in fact, that you should even ask that, because when we spoke to some of the parents, they were saying, there's a school that is closer to me, but that school is not performing, and I want another school which is getting 90%, and they even raised this with the department spokesperson, Steve Mabona, but Steve was saying all schools are performing well. It is up to the parents, it is also up to the teachers to ensure that they help their children, they help the pupils to perform, because now what Steve also mentioned, in fact, is that some of the schools are getting more parents wanting to come in, and the schools are full because parents are insisting that this is a good school. People here are getting 90%. The matric pass rates in the schools are very high, and this is the challenge that the department is also facing. And another challenge, Bonyue, is the fact that parents want the former Model C schools. Parents don't want to see their children in township schools, for instance. Parents don't want to see their children at schools that are now satellite schools that the department is introducing because of the influx. Parents don't want those schools. So these are the challenges that the department is grappling with, and would have to make a plan by at least the 30th of January, which when the late applications close.
Sure, Neria, and that's going to be quite a task, especially when you think about the fact that the issue of overcrowding is one that is also a problem in Gauteng. And I wonder, are they planning to then maybe introduce some, mobile classrooms? What does the department say?
The department was even clear yesterday when we spoke about the issue of overcrowding. The spokesperson did say they can't escape it. It's inescapable. It has to happen because Gauteng is pressured at this minute. And that is why right now the department was saying that they will be, in the next 3 years, introducing satellite schools. So it's going to be makeshift schools, basically, in the interim while they build more schools. There's also going to be at least 400 mobile classrooms in the various schools, just to bolster and make sure that they accommodate the influx that is coming into Gauteng. But you must realize that every year the Department of Education is getting at least 40,000 new people, new heads that they have to accommodate with the budget and with the schools that they have. So they have their work cut out for them when it comes to dealing with overcrowding at schools and making sure that every child essentially goes to school.
And I was going to ask you about that, if you managed to spot any parent who was in a different province or a different area over December, and then deciding over December that they're coming to Gauteng and they're bringing their children here. And did they tell you what are some of the reasons?
Of course. In fact, yesterday we were in Benoni, and one of the parents is actually from Mpumalanga. She was telling us that her child was initially in Mpumalanga, but now the child is naughty, the child is not behaving well because the child is far from her, and because because of such reasons, she needs the child to come here in Gauteng because she works in Gauteng, so she feels it would be better to parent her child when she's closer. And now she wants a school here in Gauteng. But now there's this waiting list. There are these late applications. So she has to wait, unfortunately. And for her also, unfortunately, it's the middle grades. It's not even the grade 1 or the grade 8. So she's stuck in another conundrum completely, you know. So we have heard parents like that and others, but mostly people are saying, the parents that we're talking to, they were actually saying, we want to parent our kids better, closer to us. Another parent was telling us that the child lost her mother in another province and has to come here. She's a foster child. So you get those situations. It's really different situations out there, but the gist of it is that they would have to wait. The district even said 10 days. You'd have to wait for 10 days. We'll see if your child will actually get a school.
And, you know, we talk about the parents' scenario, we talk about the department and all of that, but what are they telling you this waiting is doing to the children as well?
To the children, and that is the one question I was asking every parent when I speak to them, that how are the children doing? The parents are saying the children are crying. The children is asking, Mommy, when am I going to school? Why is my friend going to school yet I'm not going to school? Mommy, why are you disappointing me? These parents were telling us all of that, and they are saying that's what's breaking their hearts, because their children just want to go to school. The child is supposed to start grade 1. One father was even telling us that the child was saying, Dad, you said I'm starting grade 1. When are you buying my uniform? When are you buying my school books? Because that's where the era is right now. That's what everybody's doing. All her peers are doing that, but there's nothing she can do, because the father even insisted that, you know what, now I'm going to just buy uniform and make sure that I dress my daughter in that uniform and just drop her off there at that school, and they will make a plan, because my daughter is suffering, my daughter is crying, my daughter wants to go to school. So you can see the ripple effect of all of this, and the child is always the one that's mostly affected.
Sure, Neria, let's see what happens. As you say, 10 days, and one wonders then, when the system closes at the end of the month, will everybody have space? But at the same time, will you then even see a bit more movement when it comes to the placement just before 10 days? But thank you for that update. Appreciate it. That's my colleague, the Neria Hlakotsa, SABC News Reporter.